श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। सद्गुरु श्री साईनाथ निशरत बाबूजी की जय। RosePetals, Volume 2, Chapter 7, The Chemistry of Love. Devotee. Guruji, you've spoken before about need and grace. You said receptivity to grace comes out of need, and once the receptivity is there, as Baba said, there are cartloads of grace to take. What links these aspects together? Guruji, if you go to a Sadguru like Baba, he will take care of it, the whole process and how it happens. The only thing we have to do is to keep ourselves open, that's all. Open to it, not trying to interpret it, not trying to compare. If you have that love, it takes care of everything. Devotee. Then love is the key? Guruji. Yes, love. It was not from a sense of renunciation that Ramana left the world. Not because he was fed up with Maya, or because he was Atman, or because of something the scriptures said, or because he wanted mukti. That is not why he left home. None of this. What actually drove him from Madurai to Arunachala was simply his love of Arunachala. That's all. So love is the driving force. It happens in different ways in different people. It may look as if I'm bringing the teaching down to bhakti, but I'm not. Actually, love is the source. Love. Don't call it bhakti. It is the love, whether of seeking or of the goal. With Buddha, he loved solving the mystery of life so much that it was his love. It was not simply intellectual questioning. That occurs to many people, and they do that. They question. They find the answers in books and become armchair philosophers. But for Buddha, it was a dire personal need to find the solution for himself. That was his love. That I call love. Whether it is love for Arunachala, love for Sai Baba, love for truth, or love for seeking truth, all are love. Devotee. Does the effort in our seeking need to be backed up by the will or by the heart? What kind of effort is best? Guruji. The correct effort is always experienced as an expression of our love. Whether it is love towards an object, a form, or an idea, whatever it is the love. Once our effort expresses our love, then it is the right effort. Not that effort which says it is the right effort. Not from the other side, the thinking mind. That is putting the cart before the horse. It's not that first we study and learn, reading all the books to see what method is best and then try to pick one up and implement it, trying and trying to make it work. No, it is not like that. Unless your love is triggered by the object for which the method you've chosen is a means, and that method becomes a genuine expression of your love, it won't be fruitful. And that is what we usually do. We give more stress to the method than to the object of it and end up loving the method more than the object of our love. Devotee. Guruji, how can we overcome the fear of death? Guruji. When you really know the principle of life, the true nature of life, then you'll realize that death is not so fearful. That is what Ramana realized. By experiencing death, he knew the real principle of life and realized that the so-called fear of death is only an illusion. We may end up with that realization like Ramana, but we should not start with that position, because that again is a delusion. We are starting with the end, the goal. Death is an illusion. We should not fear it, but it may not be an illusion. You should realize it is an illusion. That should be in your experience. And even if death is there, even if it is true, let us face it. What gives you the strength to face it is love. That is what I've been trying to tell you. Death is immaterial. It is insignificant to us because we live in love. Whether it is love of Baba, love of the Sadguru, love of Arunachala, or love of Jnana. It doesn't matter. It's love. And again, that love, in a different terminology, you can call a need, a want. All these human states are different shades of it. If you have that love, you need it. That creates more need and you want it more, and then you get it more. We each have a small iota of that love. Try to express it. By expressing it, it grows. Because that love has been pressed in your heart due to so many fears, patterns, wants, and desires, you have to express it. You have to bring it out from your heart. This is removing what the Vedantins call the granthis or knots of the heart. It is what Ramana said, remove the knots of the Hridaya Granthi, meaning the heart, the seat of emotions. True love is lurking there, so remove the knots in it. It is tied with all these desires, these pulls and patterns, these vasanas. Try to remove them. He expressed it that way using Vedantic terminology. Vasana Hridaya Granthi. I am saying the same thing but in a different jargon. Devotee. Guruji, in most spiritual circles, they say the ego has to be destroyed, to be killed. We hear this often. It seems you are saying something different. Guruji, are such extreme expressions needed, killed and destroyed? It seems so harsh to me. Instead, what I say is, when you experience love, the ego gradually merges into it and becomes one with that love. It gets totally merged and absorbed in it and loses its identity and form. Devotee. Guruji, in a previous satsang, you spoke about the ego being a support in the process towards fulfillment. But ultimately, when fulfillment is there, the ego has to drop. So, how does it support the process and when does it drop? Guruji, it is in the ego that love is kindled. And when the love grows, the ego is burnt up in the fire of love. It is no more there. It's just like fuel. Fuel is the support for fire, but after some time it disappears. It is no more there. It is present in a different way. See the oil beneath the flame of that lamp? The support for the flame is the oil, but after some time, where has the oil gone? That which supports something may lose its own existence. Just like that, our ego, our frustration, our suffering, our need for love and longing for the beloved, all these things act as fuel. So we seek a Sadguru like Sai Baba. Then, once the flame of love is kindled, slowly the flame uses up our ego as fuel and it totally vanishes. The form of the Sadguru acts like the wick, not wicked, but wick, though to you he may sometimes seem wicked. And it is there only in love that by losing, one gains. This is what Christ also says in the Bible, that by losing one's life, one gains it. Devotee. Guruji, how can we nurture openness to transformation and change? Guruji, by your desire, by your need. If you realize your need and you have an object which fulfills that, the resulting chemistry is called love and that will nourish you. Then you will be nurtured. That is the nourishment for nurturing. Devotee. If I know my object of love? Guruji. Not object of love. Your object of love depends upon your need. You love what you need, that's all. So first, you should know what you need. Then you will love the goal or the object which is the means to that goal. Whatever it is, they are the same. The resultant chemistry is love. Devotee. We hear various things said about effort. Sometimes it seems we should make more effort, and at other times it seems that effort itself is the obstacle. I don't really understand the role of effort. Guruji. The right effort is an expression of our love. You can't help it. You have to do it. Any effort is either an expression of our love or of our need, whatever you call it. I prefer to call it love because love is our need and the need has given rise to love. In whatever way it arises, it is love. So it is only an expression. But what we have to understand is it is not our effort that brings the result. The result is not based on our effort, but still you have to express your love. Expression only shows and increases your love and your need. So both are needed in fact. Do you understand? Am I making myself clear? Our effort, our so called effort, is an expression of our need, our love, and we can't help it. We have to do it. And by expressing and expressing our need more and more, our love becomes more. It becomes stronger. And the more our need and love increase, the more are the chances of reaching our goal quickly. Indirectly, our effort is related to the result, but directly, it is not the effort that gives the result. It is grace. Grace is not dependent on your effort, but on your need. Now, do you understand? Devotee. On the path of love, it seems nothing less than 100% will do. Guruji. Even if it's not 100%, 10% love is also good because it is love. If you are hungry and you don't get a full meal, will you refuse just a plate of idlis? No, I'm very hungry. I want either a full meal or no food at all. Will you say that? No, you will take even one idli. Here also, what happens is love is going on, it is growing. Not that sometime in a convocation you'll be given a certificate. It's not like that. The love grows and the happiness grows and the fulfillment is also growing. First, it seems that 2 idlis are enough. But after eating, we know, no, it is not enough. And again we seek. We seek more and more until we feel no more is needed. We are full. When that happens, there's no particular word for it. That state cannot be formally defined. So, here in this case, the whole path from the starting point to the goal is happiness and love. And because there is love, there will be fulfillment. Not that we have to suffer now and later we get some happiness. We start with happiness, we walk the path in happiness, and we end in happiness. Then we are treading the right path. The suffering that people usually experience on the path is not what is normally described as suffering. It is not torture or physical pain, but the human longing for love. This longing may be expressed and experienced as a kind of suffering, but it's not really suffering. There is a beauty in it. It can be thrilling even because it is something we choose. So even the longing itself becomes a kind of happiness. People ask how to culture love, how to nurture it, how to develop it and make love grow. There is no method or technique to make love grow. The only thing is, when you realize that you have love and you have a need for love and you want to realize that love, then try to create or be in an environment where that love is widely cultivated. Then it will grow on its own. When a congenial environment is provided, the plant grows, that's all. What can you do to make a plant grow? Nothing. You can only give it the support of water, fertilizer, and the proper environment. That is what you have to give, and that is enough. Will you take a sapling, straighten it, and then make it grow? Devotee. What is the proper environment? Guruji. Where nothing obstructs your love. Where there is more of a possibility you can realize love, that you can experience love. Where such a love exists in different shades in people who are sharing it in different ways, then you have the right environment. Either you have to be in that environment or you have to create that environment. If it's not there, you have to create your own. Being dependent on having such an environment is not correct. The ability to create your own should also be there. Rice grows easily in Andhra, for instance, but here in the Himalayas, on these high valley slopes, see how they did it. They created an environment by terracing the slopes to grow rice. With rocks, they made boundaries and canals so pools of water could collect there. They created the right environment to grow rice. It is not a proper place for rice cultivation, in fact, but they have made it so and are growing rice. This is what you have to do. Devotee. And how do we do that? Guruji. By doing it, by creating it, by having satsang, by being with like minded people, by sharing with like minded people, by sharing your love. When you want to label a state like fulfillment, it is not possible. It's something you experience. You have to experience it. When you get real fulfillment, you want it to grow. And to get it more and more and more and more until you get the capacity to hold full fulfillment, whatever you think that is, your concept of full. Devotee. What do you mean by capacity? Guruji. The capacity to love and the capacity to receive. The capacity to stick to your love, to hold on to your love, to be stable in your love, not to be disturbed by any other influence. Whatever comes, that love is not disturbed. That capacity, that strength, these are all capacities. If your computer freezes and your hard disk is empty, how do you feel? You spend hours and hours, you try Disk Warrior, Norton, Tech Tool, repairing permissions and connecting this and that. So many things you do constantly trying to bring that back. If it's something which you don't need so much, you give it up. But your love gives you that strength, thinking about various solutions, the worry, the suffering, the longing, and the joy of getting it back once it is repaired and all your files are there again. Oh, the happiness. Devotee. Does everyone have that capacity? Guruji. Yes, everyone has that capacity. The capacity is there, but that much love is not there. If the love is there, that itself will give you the capacity. For anybody, what gives the strength, the capacity is the love. Everybody has the capacity. Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Sadguru Shri Sainath Nisharat Babuji ki jai.